Good morning, everyone. My name is Marco Venter, and I'm the team leader for Group B. Group B consisted of 5 members, and the main goal for Group B this week was to solve a problem. The problem was to help BBD better assess applicants for the BBD graduate program. Past assessment methods includes the RoboCode challenge. Our approach to solving the problem was using pipes, and pipes was a game written using Phaser, which is a 2D game framework for HTML5 and JavaScript. An important consideration before we started was that all applicants are not on the same skill level, so we had to test basic to difficult skills. How did we solve this problem? We started with brainstorming, where we compiled a document with priorities assigned to each objective to combat our limited time resource. We then split into a scoring team consisting of 2 members and a game mechanics team with 3 members. Each day, we would have feedback sessions where we had different checkpoints for objectives completed. New features in Pipes 2.0 include logical thinking, conceptual understanding of data types, variable assignments, control flow, such as looping, and functions. And finally, scoring the applicant. Ultimately, the new version of Pipes allows to better assess the performance of the applicant and scores the applicant based on metrics to identify possible BBDers.
All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Thomas. I was part of the game development team. And this is what we inherited at the beginning of the week. You can see that there's not much going on. I think there are maybe 3-4 different types of pipes, which means they nailed program flow, and looping was pretty good. But we kind of had to up it a bit if we really wanted to get all of our points. The one big thing was the UI. So we can see the reset button is just below the play button, which can give you quite a bad day. And generally, for example, the UI not being on the black part of the screen was a bit unsavory to look at. So Stephen will now show you everything that we added, and it's quite a bit.
Hi guys, I'm Stephen. I was also part of the game dev team. As you can see, we've not only added a bunch of new blocks, but the UI is greatly improved. Starting with like the source block, we added some blocks around the source block to describe the properties of it. So now you no longer need to look at a small text at the bottom corner. We've added a bin icon so that you can easily remove blocks from your grid without having to try and drag them into the black area around, which proved quite difficult in the initial implementation. We've also, last but not least, definitely spaced out the redo and play buttons, so now you no longer accidentally reset the entire level every time. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tristan. I was part of the scoring team. As Marco mentioned earlier, we used metrics to gather the scoring. We used time, pipes used, and redos. The time was taken using specific timestamps within the code to generate specific timestamps at specific points to gather times at for the total game and then for each level. Same goes with the pipes and the redos. Thank you.
Very cool. I'm Johannes. I was also part of the game dev team, and I'll be showing the demo. Okay. So this is our start screen where you can press play. Okay, let's just refresh it. Okay, maybe we should let the server go live. That'll probably help. There we go. Okay. So now you can see this is our start screen where we press play. You would find info about all the blocks that is used, but the levels, we design it in the way that, as most game users do, they don't read the information. So as you can skip this and still understand what to do just by how the tutorial levels show you how the game mechanics work. Okay, so we did not include all the levels that we designed. just for demoing purposes. Otherwise, it would take too long for me to struggle to finish better hardware levels. Okay, so we start with the most basic level where we can see that we have a water source in our source block. And then this level, this tutorial part just indicates that water flow down pipes. So we connect the corner and then we can press play and then we can see clean water is supplied. Next, we show that it is a steam source that you're getting from the source pipe. And we just show that this will be, this water phase will go up the pipes. Next, we introduce a new pipe, which is a cooler, which shows that it takes a hot source and cools it down. So for this instance, we would have steam, which goes up. So we would first have to cool it down to reach the end. Clean water supply. Okay, just for demo purposes, I'm also going to get it wrong. For now, we have water, which should not be able to flow up. We see that water cannot flow up. So if we add the heater pipe, clean water will be supplied. Next, we have a filter, so we can see that the water has one poop in it. So we have to take one poop out of it with a filter, which we can also show will not work if we do not filter. We can say, see, dirty water is supplied. Clean water is now supplied. Next, we demonstrate, so the different phases simulates your understanding of different data types. So and how they interact with the water. For example, the steam goes up and the water goes down. Now, next we introduce looping with a separator, which shows that when dirty water enters, it leaves the red side, and clean water enters, it leaves the green side, which shows control flow and the user's understanding of that. So now we make a basic loop. Because we only have one filter with 3 poops, clean water is supplied. And next we see the tank, which represents a variable which can be assigned a phase of water and then which would store it and then it can be used afterwards. Can't see the eggs. Oh, there it is. Okay, cool. So you're forced to use the tank in this situation because you only have 2 pipes, which will not reach the end. So we would need to put it in the tank. And then you can use the tank as your new source of water. Lastly, we added functions, and you're forced to use it in this situation because, as you can see, we have steam and 3 poops, but none of the blocks that is needed for this process. So you won't be able to get here with normal pipes. So we would access the function area, which is a reduced grid, where you have access to all the pipes, so you can build whatever you want. And we can see, well, we know that in this situation, we need to filter 3 times and also make the steam into water. Okay, so now we have finished our function, we can save our function. Now we are given a function block, which takes up a 3x3 space. And we can then use it to finish this final tutorial level for demoing purposes. And then after you finish, we can see the scoring. So I took 5 minutes to complete the entire demo, and we can see for each level what I achieved. And then we have some scoring, and yep, that's the demo.